first manual muscle test we're doing is the anterior deltoids. And the origin of the anterior deltoids is the lateral third of the clavicle, which is right here. And it's going to go all the way to the deltoid. Can you put your arm on? The deltoid tuberosity. Now, the actions of this is to abduct, internal rotation, and to internal flexion of the shoulder. Now for the manual muscle test for this one, maybe stand up for this, or it doesn't matter. We're going to have him flex his arm like this, and bring it out in front of him like that. Maybe sit actually too short. And hold the position for 5 seconds. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first manual muscle test we're doing is the anterior deltoids, and the origin of the anterior deltoids is the third lateral of the clavicle, which is right here, and it's going to go all the way down right about here to the deltoids tuberosity, and it's right here. And the actions are to internally rotate, flexion of the shoulder, and abduct. Now the manual muscle test for the anterior deltoid. You're going to have your arm flex right here. Go right here. And hold this position for 5 seconds. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Okay. The next manual muscle test we're doing is the middle deltoids. The middle deltoid origin is the acromion process, which is right here. And it goes all the way down right to the deltoid tuberosity. And the action for this is flexion of the arm, abduct, and internal rotation. And the manual muscle test for this is I'm just going to have you extend your arm all the way right here. I want you to hold this position for 5 seconds. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. And next manual muscle test is the posterior manual muscle test. Can you turn around a little bit? Is the posterior deltoids, and the insertions is the spine of the scapula, and it's going to go all the way down to the deltoid tuberosity. And this action is to extend the shoulder, external rotation, and abduct. And the manual muscle test for this is the manual muscle test for the posterior deltoid is you're going to abduct, flexion of the elbow, and flex it for 5 seconds. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Supraspinatus. The origin is the supraspinous fossa, which is right here, and it works its way around to the greater tubercle. The action of this is abduction. For the manual muscle test, have me stand up, pull the arm out like that, hold this position. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Alright, so the next muscle is the teres minor. The attachment is the axillary border right here. And it works its way to the greater tubercle right there. And the action is external rotation. For this main muscle test, I have you laying on your stomach. On the edge of the table. And I'll have your arm out. And hold this position. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, this manual muscle test we're doing is the pectoris minor, and the posterior, that's not the word, proximal is the 3 to 5 ribs, and then it goes all the way to to the cord core process, which is right here. And then the action is to protract and depress, and the manual muscle test is, can you please run it back? And I want you to protract your shoulders, and then you're gonna hold this position for 5 seconds. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Next manual muscle test we're doing is the pectoralis major. The proximal is the half of the clavicle to the sternum, and then the distal is, or it's all this muscle, and then the distal is to the bicipital, it's the bicipital groove. Not too glossy. And then this action is to internal rotate and also to abduct. So for this testing, I'm going to have you lay on your back. And I want you to raise this arm up, straight up, and put your palm facing me. And I want you to hold position for 5 seconds. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, I want you to put your hand down, palm facing downwards. And I want you to hold position for 5 seconds. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. This next manual muscle test we're doing is the levator scapular and the rhomboids, since they're both the same manual muscle test. The levator is proximal with the C1 to the C4. Can you turn a little bit? Like that. There we go. C1 to C4, and it goes all the way down to the vertebral of the scapulars, or scapula. And then the rhomboids is C7 to T7, and it also goes to the vertebral of the scapula, but also to the root of the spine. And then this manual muscle, or the actions for the levator is to elevate, and then the rhomboids is to retract. So I'm gonna have you lay on your stomach, please. And then this manual muscle test is, you're gonna, I know, go to the other side, but you're gonna go like this, and like that. Hold that position for 5 seconds. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. This next test is called next muscle is the infraspinatus, and proximal is the infraspinosus fossa, which is right here. And then the distal is to the greater tubercle, which is right here. Now, the action for this is an external rotator. So for this, I'm going to have you lay on your stomach. And I want you to come a little bit off, and then I want you to raise it, and then go into as much external rotation you can. And I want you to hold your position for 5 seconds. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. This muscle test is the bicep brachii, and the posterior of this muscle is the short head and the long head, and it goes all the way down this muscle belly to the radial tuberosity. The action is to flex the arm. So for this manual muscle test, I'm going to have you do this. Hold position for 5 seconds. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. This manual muscle test, you're going to put your arm out like this, and I want you to hold position for 5 seconds. Ready? Let's see right here. Yeah, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax.
So these muscles are the latissimus dorsi and the teres major. For teres major, the proximal attachment is the axillary border, which is right here, and the distal attachment is a bicipital groove, so it works its way around to the bicipital groove. And for the latissimus dorsi, the distal attachment is the bicipital groove. No, the proximal attachment is the bicipital groove, and the distal is the thoracic aponeurosis and down to the iliac crest, so it's all in the back. It goes to the bicipital groove. And for the manual muscle test, you'll be on your stomach. this and hold this position. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. So this is a coracoid brachialis. The proximal attachment is a coracoid process, and the distal attachment is the one-third shaft of the humerus right here, so it works its way down to there. And for the manual muscle test, I'll have you bend your arm like this and ready. Hold this position. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this muscle is the subscapularis. The proximal attachment is the subscapular fossa under the scapula, and the distal attachment is the lesser tubercle, so it works its way around to the front of the humerus. And the action is internal rotation. In the manual muscle test, I'll need you to lay on your stomach.
Can we do this one?
Yeah.
Because this one's my back.
Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna have you bring your arm out like this and hold this position. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. So this muscle is the serratus anterior. The proximal attachment is the first 9 ribs, and the distal attachment is the anterior surface of the vertebral border in the back. And for this manual muscle test, I'll need you to lay on your back. Do you want to be right on me?
This one.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you're gonna punch the ceiling and lift your shoulder up, off, and you're gonna hold this position. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so this muscle is the upper, middle, and lower traps. The proximal attachment for all these is C7 all the way down to T12. But for the upper trap, the distal attachment is a lateral clavicle acromion, which is in the front. Right? No. Hold on. Alright, so these muscles are all 3 traps. The proximal attachment for all of these is C7 to T12. The distal for upward trap is the lateral clavicular acromion, which is right here, on top of the shoulder. The distal for middle trap is the scapular spine, which is right here. And then the lower trap, the distal is the scapular spinal root, which is right here. Okay, so these manual muscle tests, all 3 different. So for the upper trap, I'm going to have you put your ear to your shoulder. Hold that position. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Alright, for the middle trap, I'm going to put your arm straight out and hold this position. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the lower trap, you're going to go ahead and stand up. Put your arm out 30 degrees, turn your thumb over, okay, and hold this position. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4,